Ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Boom. I'm on it. I'm on it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm setting this up. Okay, let's see what you got. Yay! Look at that. Look at that old man with a little old man's hat. I like this style. Shut up. Shut up for not having to wear my headphones today. I'm gonna try this, even though they keep disconnecting and connecting again. But I think we're good. I think we got it now. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here on the Boom Day festivities. Today is Tuesday, August the 2nd of 2022. I am really happy and uh, really excited to have been able to pay my electric bill yesterday. Thank you to all of you guys to support. I really appreciate it. You guys came through and I cannot thank you enough. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. We got one more month with electricity and internet to do the show. I mean, the internet is the 15th, but and it doesn't stop there because yesterday, sometime in the afternoon, Parabindu Parabindu came through with $10 donation via PayPal. And I thank you very much, Parabindu, for the electric and the internet bills and all of that. Thank you so much. And right now, Martin just says, Presente, Martin. Shout out for the big $20 on PayPal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Big shout out to everybody here on YouTube land. Is 20 already. I have shared the show on the Discord servers that I am in. There are a few Discord servers that I am not a member of, like the Game Panda. I'm not there. The Nathan Oakleys and the 24/7s. I'm not in those Discord servers. I know there are more that I am not a part of and I don't recognize. So are, if you guys know about, if you guys know of Discord servers that you can share the show, go for it, man. Shout out to Fari, just subscribe to the channel. Hell yeah. We got a new subscriber. I hope the audio is good over there on YouTube land. So make sure to share the show, hit the thumbs up. That is very important. Not only if you're watching this live, the 18 of you with only 6 likes, but as the people just arrive, we remind each other in the YouTube, hey, hit that like, thumb up, It's a little bit of a help, a little bit of a push. And participate in the YouTube chat box. There's a PayPal link that you can support the channel doing that, or there's a super chat, a little dollar sign underneath the chat box. And check on the buttons. Make sure that you subscribe. The bell notification icon is on. And I'm very happy with the video that we did live stream yesterday because I had a bunch of comments. So I know that a lot of people came in and watched the show recorded and they enjoyed it a lot. So thank you, mercy for coming back and re-watching that show. Big shout out first of all to the people on YouTube land. Hey, if you are one of the 18 that haven't typed anything, type something in the YouTube chat box, and we're gonna say hello. Like Dawn to Dusk is here in the house. Zeb Tepi is here. What's up, bro? Justin Franks. My mom bakes cakes, bro. I watched a video from my mom bakes cakes channel yesterday. You gotta join us and talk to us one day, man. You got a good voice. Shout out to Justin Franks. Real Sick News is in the house. Martin says boom. Also, Farmer's Boy in the YouTube chat box. Mr. Malort. Mr. Malort say the Lemon Bear using Morgal as a source yesterday nearly broke him. That was a good one, man. Yeah. Shout out to John Hansen. He's nearly first. He just came in first, but he was just waiting for you guys to type something before he was able to jump in. Thank you very much to all of you on YouTube. And shout out to everybody over here on the Discord server, Daily Boom. You can find a link in the description box. We have in the house saying presente, Farmer's Boy, Chike, and Snesley Wipes is here. But guys, this is for you. Don't know if you can hear that.
Yes.
I hope you do. Squeaky Earth is for all of you. Shout out to the frogs. Boom. What's up?
Hashtag free the frogs.
Free the frogs!
Mm.
I miss the frogs in that previous location that I used to live. They were very
Yeah.
loud and very annoying, but it was cool to hear them.
That was nice to hear them in the background to a
Yep.
point. Yes.
It gave a personality to the show. Now over here
Yeah.
it's just so city side. It's not a jungle or like it's not like the other side.
I beg to differ. It's the urban jungle. How many times do we hear the sirens wailing in the background?
What? yeah. Concrete jungle, like Bob Marley say, yeah.
Exactly. Yes. It wouldn't be Florida without the wail of the sirens.
I feel that, man. We also have Larry Bro PS joined, and the other Merle. The other Merle is Leo. Leo, hi.
I am the other Merle.
Hi, how are you, Leo?
Good. I don't know why, but that just brought back some memories, Jose. Remember when I used your moniker for a while?
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was good times, man. I still use it in the intro, in the 5 minutes intro. That picture is there for those who observed the stream in the beginning.
By the way, how is not the other Merle?
The not the other Merle would be Merle.
Merle, yes.
He's as bonkers as ever.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, which Merle? Because there's about 5 of them, right?
I'm the other one.
Oh, just think about that for a minute. 5 Merles. Bloody hell.
Well, yeah, it's all contained in the same account, but yeah, he's polar.
Your frogs are growing hair.
You know,
Yeah, they are.
like insects, they grow depends what they get fed. Yes.
Is
Maybe it's-
Merle a rabbit? Because rabbits tend to breed a lot. Multiply.
No, he's
like-
just polar.
like bees, if they feed them a male food, they grow to be male. If they feed them a queen food, they grow to be queen. So Merle, maybe it depends what you eat in the morning. That depends what Merle you'll meet during the day.
When you say depends, there's a brand of adult diapers. That's not what you're talking about, right?
No.
Okay. Well, you were talking about Depends and Merle, and I thought he was like a baby adult wearing diapers or something. Sorry.
Sometimes he is.
Sorry for associating one with another.
Now, Merle he's a shapeshifter. He morphs. He could be kind of calm and defensive, and then he'll just after an hour he becomes offensive and grating and argumentative, and then he wants to get, as he says, his quote, he needs to get a gun and kill everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is messed up. Yeah, he loses his shit. Grab a rock and crush your skull, you know? Yeah, he got some explosives, weird, random thoughts sometimes. What do you guys think when you hear flat earthers say, but in the globe, the horizon is the curvature of the earth? The horizon is where the curvature of the earth begins. The horizon is Earth's curvature. What do you guys think when you hear that? It's silly.
It's a product of the curvature, but the curvature starts at your feet.
Yeah, the horizon is not the curve. And my answer, the horizon is not the curve, Earth's curve. All the ground where you're standing on is Earth's curve.
Yeah. They asked
Not
the
just
question.
the
well,
horizon.
when
You
did-
just want to point out. You just want to filter out just the horizon. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want to talk about singling things out. The surface of the Earth is Earth's curvature. You know.
Yeah, they say, when does curvature start? Like, it starts at the horizon. I go, no, it started at your feet. Well, how far do I got to go? I don't know. 100 feet, 5 feet? Depends on how good your measuring tool is.
Yeah. But wait, but if I get asked, is the horizon Earth's curvature? No, the answer is no. My answer is no. The surface of the Earth is Earth's curvature. I mean, it's everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
That sounds
optically
strange, but-
it's optically displaced a little bit. We are seeing it, but it's optically displaced. That means fuck all.
Mm.
Yeah,
You've been
now
saying a lot of that today.
there's new stuff that I hear from Flat Earth. A is that horizontal planes only exist in reality, in nature. What? I have never saw horizontal plane. Well,
Well,
Right.
you can't establish a horizontal plane without gravity, but it's only horizontal at the instrument.
but it doesn't really exist other than in your mind, is it?
Well, it exists just as much as the hanging of a plumb bob. So, you got the hanging of a plumb bob, you got vertical, you got zenith. That's very objective, and you can be 90 degrees to that. Okay, it's just as real.
Okay. But you don't find those in nature.
Well, in nature, depending on how you zoom in, what resolution, they're like nothing is a perfect circle. A perfect circle is a mathematical concept, but many things get very, very, very close to it. Like the sun is not a perfect circle or a perfect sphere, but it's damn close. So, yeah, perfection or a straight line between 2 points. Yeah, as soon as you involve matter, yeah, you're dealing with a granularity and other forces, and all environment is dynamic. So it's a matter of resolution, a matter of context.
Yeah, another stupid thing is that in the globe model, they can't be horizontal planes. Not possible.
Quick shout out to Earth is Live. If you're listening, what is the main chat from who? You don't have permission to post in, not in this main chat. This is something else. Sorry. Now, I keep hearing that you cannot have a triangle on the surface of the Earth, and you cannot have a triangle. You cannot make a triangle in a curved surface. You
course
can
you can.
make triangles on curved surface. Yes, you can. Of course.
Yeah.
When you use
What-
when you describe something as a triangle and you only say the word triangle, now the default is that's a planar triangle. So when you're in spherical spherical triangles, you can't omit the word spherical. So spherical triangles are a completely different branch of trigonometry.
But are still triangles.
So yeah, on the face of the earth, you can have a spherical triangle. All triangles that are based on the spherical shape of the earth are spherical triangles. If you're coming off of zenith and measuring the angles correctly,
It's like a square. I can have a square on the spherical object, right?
well, a spherical square is, I don't know.
On a curved surface. I can make
Yeah,
it square or
you,
not.
you could have a polygon made of 4 great circle segments, which 90 degrees in all corners. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the same as a planar polygon of.
Why do
4
I have
sides.
to specify planar or spherical? I don't have to. I just say I'm gonna draw a square in top of that watermelon, and I draw a square. I'm gonna draw a square in top of the triangle in top of the basketball. I don't have to specify planar or spherical or none of that shit. To the normal people that live in reality in the world, we don't have to specify that.
Well,
Just
if
for,
I saw,
for
if I,
just flat arts just need to specify that, not me.
if you showed me the basketball with a triangle drawn on it, now I know. If you just said triangle and I couldn't see what you're referring to, then I need context, because it could be either.
Well, if I say I got a square I drew a square on a watermelon. I mean, I don't have to specify that that's a spherical square or a polygon, none of that shit. I just a square I drew with a Sharpie in top of a watermelon. That's it.
But you
It's a
said
square.
watermelon. You said watermelon, so that already gave me the information.
Exactly, yeah. But I don't have to specify. If I say that, I don't have to just add anything else. That's it. Now,
Well,
if you tell that to a flat art, they say you cannot have a square in the watermelon. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, well, when you said watermelon, or I see watermelon, that's information. You omit that, and it could be, it's undefined.
You guys disagree with me or agree with me? I mean, it's a for the laymen, for the normal people. We don't have to specify a spherical triangle that are gonna draw in. I don't know, in a curved surface, like in the I don't know, in the how do you call in the top of a car that it got slightly curved, right? They say, "Oh, I want an Illuminati symbol drawn in there." So what do you want? You want the triangle with an eye on it? Yes. So I'm gonna draw a triangle in the hood, in the top of your car or whatever. That's slightly curved. How dare any flat art tell me that I cannot draw a triangle, perfect triangle in the top of a car when it's curved? Please correct me, please. Farmer's Boy, why do you think they say I cannot draw that when everybody in reality can? Do they don't live in reality, I guess, right?
No, you're absolutely correct. Yes, they quite openly reject reality. They have to. It's really quite simple. That all of their excuses, all of their bullshit just boils down to they are ignoring reality. I mean, we're not the shape of the bloody earth is. There's no discussion over it. And yet they come up with such convoluted ways of trying to deny it without actually providing any evidence or proof of their belief that the earth is flat. So yeah, they're just denying reality.
So if I go to an artist, right, and I tell like right in the top of this little I don't know, I bring him a basketball, actually a basketball. I say, hey, I want you to draw me a triangle, a perfect triangle with an eye, big eye in the center of it, like just bright lights coming out of it, red eye bright yellow lights and the triangle, like really cool. I say, oh
Mhm.
yeah, all right. Is the design okay? Yeah. Do I have to tell the artist specify anything else but draw me a perfect triangle in the top of this basketball? I don't have to, right? They
No.
understand what I'm saying, right?
We all understand what a triangle looks like and what a triangle is.
Yeah.
Well,
They might ask
most of
how
us
big
do.
you want it. I say I want it big, like when you look at the top of the basketball, you see the whole thing there, big.
Yeah.
So why do
Yeah.
they have so much trouble understanding this?
Do you know,
By
honestly,
they, I mean the reality deniers. By them, I mean.
I don't think they have trouble understanding it at all. They're just pretending. Because remember, there's no such thing as a real flat earther. The
And
Earth's not
then-
flat.
Yeah, and then if I want a measurement of this triangle drawn in top of this basketball, I can find an area. I can make a mat and find an area. It's going to be a little tricky because, I mean, there's going to be slightly curves and stuff, but I can find a
Yes.
rough area basing on the angles of this triangle is drawn in the surface of this ball. Why can you tell? How dare you telling me that I cannot measure the angles that is drawn in the triangle in top of a ball?
Well,
Anybody
exactly.
can. Anybody can. Yeah.
Draw it on the ball in the right way, and those three interior angles are all going to be 90 degrees. And that's when most Flurf brains just either explode or shut down. Because as we all know, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, if you draw it on a flat surface, can't be greater than 180 degrees. But if you draw a triangle on a curved surface, of course it can be more than 180 degrees. Still a triangle. Still got 3 sides and 3 points.
Indeed. Shout out to Earth is Life. He shared a triangle drawn on a big ball, on a big
There you go.
exercise ball.
And we've all seen the little gif of somebody drawing it on the tennis ball, haven't we? Where they start at the top, and he draws a straight line down to the line that goes around the middle, turns 90 degrees, draws the line of the same length, turns 90 degrees, and ends up back where it started. He's just drawn a triangle.
Yeah.
All 3 angles are 90 degrees.
Let me share the screen for the audience. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Anybody got anything to share? Please do so now. Let's do it. The Discord server Daily Boom is open for anybody that would like to join us in the discussion. Please come in, and if you join, be self-aware of the amount of time that you've been speaking versus the people that you're speaking against. Make sure that your audio is solid and you're not interrupting or talking over or over talking anybody. And you can stay here all day and talk to us and talk to each other. Remember, the key is self-awareness. Don't be an asshole. Don't do anything you don't like others to do to you. It's easy, right?
Yep.
I'm an asshole sometimes. I talk a little bit over, but then that happens usually within the first half an hour of the show. I kind of try to. I'm a little too excited. Like, no, I don't want the show to die, so I gotta speak every second. But it's okay to have a silence every minute or two. Every few seconds, so we can gather our thoughts, and then we'll it builds from there. So it's all good.
Yeah, but you know me, Jose. I don't know if I can do that.
Yes, we can.
Think positive.
Anyway, hi guys. I'm sorry I didn't get in earlier. I didn't intend to, but I was having a wee snooze.
That was a little ununderstandable, but it's okay.
Yeah, I lost it at the end.
We got it. One of the rules also, if you join, make sure that you are accentuating and expressing what you have to say. Articulate a little better, because you might have a strong accent from being from different parts of the world. So make sure that you are at least attempting to speak a little more clearly for others to understand.
What it means is, Terse, you have to put your posh voice on.
I would like to put my posh voice on, but I just proved positive with a lurgy on Monday, and I'm hibernating in my house for the next 6 days. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
think what Jose meant is try to speak American.
Yeah, well, you know,
Good
I'm
point.
too, I am going, I am scared, yeah, no.
Even
Um,
more to the point, he meant speak Floridian.
I thought that was Floridian.
I don't know. You have to speak to Jose. He speaks Floridian.
Oh, dude, look what I found. Look what I did. Hold on. This is beautiful. Hold on. Let me share. I'm gonna switch my screen share with you. You don't have to do. If you're watching my screen share, you don't have to do anything. I will change it myself. So we had this good old cheap paint 3D from the Windows, right?
mhm.
We're gonna do a 3D shape. We're gonna do a sphere right here, right? We're gonna do the sphere. Okay, there you go. Let's make it red. Okay, perfect. Got it. Now we're gonna do a 2D shape on top of this spherical object. Hold on, let me select. You make sure, like, look, if I go, this is a sphere, you see? It's a
Yeah,
3D sphere on a 3D surface. You can, tweak it around, move it around. You don't see that it's getting twisted because it's sphere. Now we're gonna draw a 2D shape on it, a triangle. Oh, here we go. Okay, is this a black triangle? Yes. Okay, there's a black triangle right here. Now, it does look like like a perfect triangle almost. But if I want to make it a lot bigger, what is going to start to happen?
That's magic.
Yo, this is fucking magic. So I'm gonna draw this triangle right here. Check. Now we're gonna choose this object, and we can move this. Look how appears to get distorted for some reason.
Wow. You're a
what is
wizard,
Well,
Harry.
You know what's crazy about that is those lines are all straight lines.
They are straight line. Look, yeah, we can
But
see
they're
that there's a
curving.
straight line. Yeah, this is a straight line right here, but it depends from the angle that you observe it. Look what happens.
That reminds me of a discussion I was having in GeoServer yesterday. I was told by flat earthers that if you take a shape and tip it on its side, that it's no longer that shape.
Really?
This will always be a triangle. It doesn't matter.
For example, they asked me, is a pyramid a square or a triangle? And I said the base is a square and the top is a three-dimensional triangle. And then they said, what shape is it when it's tipped on its side? I said, well, the shape it would be is that the base would be a square and the three-dimensional triangle would be a pyramid. And they
It's
said,
a pyramid
no.
tipped on its side.
Yeah, it's still the same shape. It doesn't change.
Of course it is. You've just tipped it on its side.
I asked them, if a car is a rectangle and I tip it on its side, is it still a rectangle? And they refused to answer the question.
Yeah, I bet they did.
They must not answer questions directly. Rule
I'm
number
not here to answer your
8.
questions.
Yeah, rule number 8 of flat earthers: never answer a direct question. Never give a direct answer to a question. There you go.
Yeah, I keep asking somebody the same question. I get a variety of answers, but none of them are straight answers. In fact, most of them are just more questions.
Well, if you don't know the answer to flat earther, just mention magnetism or something, you know.
I tell you what.
Go on then.
I tell you what. I learned a lot. You know, I had no idea Windows
Uh-oh.
10 had Paint 3D. That
Didn't
flipped me right
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Thank
Been there
you.
all this
Paint
time.
3D it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Paint 3D.
I had no idea that when Larry came into this server, all of a sudden his internet would be crappy and he would be cutting out a lot.
Yeah, because probably depends on the power on the computer you got. If you're just opening extra programs and you on Discord, it's gonna lag maybe. But Paint 3D is alright, Hey, it helps. Yeah.
It helps that it's free. So
Yep. Let's ask Gary if he's available to talk. I don't know if he's working or very busy. Triangle. You can have triangles on a sphere. You can do math. You can figure out angles on curved surfaces, Gary. Yes, there's no magic in there, right?
You can pretend. I just tuned in because I wanted to hear more string theory by Bob and Blue.
I didn't understand that. It's a little muffled there.
I believe he said he wanted to hear more string theory from Bob and Blue.
But unfortunately, Bob and Blue are not here. Maybe that's a topic that they spoke about in their channels. So that's not happening in here because it's not related to the topic whatsoever. We try to talk to each other here, not about others that are not here. If we mention
I
others,
just tuned in, so I didn't know they were.
Clarification.
I just tuned
Gary.
in,
yeah.
and they were talking about all their string theory yesterday.
Hey, Gary,
In here? I didn't hear
clarification.
him talking about that here.
Just a clarification. String is in rubber bands, you mean?
Or about multi-dimension.
Actually, rubber bands would have made a lot more sense if they were.
He's not.
Strings.
He's not talking about string theory as we understand it.
That's a perfect example of another problem with flat earthers. You ask them, is the sun yellow? And they say the car is green.
Yeah,
Well,
but what does next Tuesday smell like?
Exactly.
The sun is not yellow.
I mean, flat earthers, I
That's a
mean,
better way.
they say you
Next Tuesday
can't,
probably smells like diarrhea because if I eat a lot of burritos on Monday,
flat earthers, they keep saying that you can't make angles from curve to a curve. Then how do you build a geodesic dome?
More importantly, what is the sound of a banana?
Did you guys ever watch the video with Bob doing this physics questions with the flat earthers? And how he had a, what do they call it? A protractor at a certain angle. And he turned it on its side, and our side a little bit off-centered from where it started. And he asked them, is this the same angle? And all of them answered no. But he didn't even switch the angle. He just turned it a little off from where it started. Which doesn't make any sense. It doesn't change the angle just because, like, for example, on that ball, we see 80, I think it's 85, 78, and 35. Is that correct? Or 55?
The sun is not yellow, it's white.
Exactly. Well, I agree with that.
Just looks
Well,
yellow through our atmosphere.
No, it isn't.
Unless you're colorblind with yellow and green, then it could look green.
Yes. String theory.
Let's
What
try
string
it.
theory we're talking about here? What string theory was Bob and Blue talking about? Because I never heard them talking about that.
If I remember rightly, it was along the lines of thinking about a yo-yo or something, or a weight on the end of a string as you whirl it around your head, something along those lines.
Oh, that's
if you
not
remember.
theory. Okay,
No,
we were
that's
talking
not.
about
No, it's not.
feather,
string
things
theory.
feather to each other, like when you
Yes.
rotate it around you.
Yes.
Like throwing a weight with just holding
And
the-
Gary called that and said, "Oh, so that's what string theory is." And of course, no.
Nothing to do with string theory.
I like that. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Let's do a simple test. Hey Gary, if you can hear me, yes or no, are you at work right now?
Twice. If you're listening, blink twice.
Yes.
There you go.
Wow, you
It's-
actually answered it without saying the car is purple.
Don't be daft. The car isn't
Debunked.
purple. God,
See, you debunked there, Lale. In real
yeah,
time.
Lale debunks. Ah.
That's not hard because I'm not that smart. Where's our friend Jumungus today, farmers?
I think he's sulking or something. I don't know.
What'd you do to him? Why'd you make him sulk?
I didn't do anything. Well, okay, I exist and I come on here and I talk. I think that's enough for him to cop a major snot.
Blue used the idea of a bucket of water attached to a string, swung around the head, and then replicate the effects of gravity. There you go. That's what Gary called string theory.
I can't explain what string theory is, but I know that is not string theory.
You know,
Is string theory the magic of a yo-yo?
No.
around the world.
Walking the dog.
A yo-yo
Okay.
trick around the world with a NASA shirt.
Yes, because Douglas Jumungus is going to be so disappointed when he realises that both me and Lale are here.
And we're sharing a Lale farmer's experience together.
Why is this true that string theory is all about bikini manufacturing?
Oh, how I wish it was.
Okay.
It would be
Is it-
infinitely more interesting.
Is that how they
I
make
wonder why.
mankinis?
I wonder why scientists spend so much time with it.
Do you know, we had a nice moment there, and Terce, you just ruined it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Fair enough then.
That's why his name is Terse.
I'm too relaxed.
one,
Those
of the,
wines-
one, of
this-
the best, one of the best names is Rumpus, man. Because what is the Rumpus? What is a Rumpus, man?
Well,
You guys watching my screen? I'll tell you what it is. I found a video clip telling us what is a rumpus. All right, let's see what we got here. I got it time stamped.
Are Canadians or British citizens,
Right.
or are we talking, globally about black?
No, that's not it.
Well,
This is something else. But listen to this person speaking. Just listen to that voice and tell me who it reminds you to. Who does it sounds like?
I don't know how it's
then.
practiced.
Listen to that.
Or in our society, we have people from these countries who live here, or who are Americans or Canadians or British citizens,
Right.
or are we talking, globally about black history?
Person sounds like somebody. No,
It
somebody
sounds
that
like
is
Brenda.
blocked. Yeah, somebody that is
Yes.
blocking this channel forever.
yes, that
I'm
does.
telling you.
That does sound like, yeah. Oh, that's who you was on about yesterday then, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah,
Which I
that does.
definitely know this isn't. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not Brenda. No, but
But
there
it's
are
funny how it sounds like. Yeah.
there are shades of Brenda going on there. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Listen to that. Listen to this shit.
We have people from these countries who live here, or who are Americans or Canadians or British citizens,
Right.
or are we talking, globally about black history?
Yeah.
It sounds like her.
Yay! The fan club's here. Hello, Jumungus. We were waiting for you. Yeah. Do you want to know what a
Yay.
rumpus actually means, and
What?
why his handle is very appropriate? A rumpus is a noisy or violent disturbance, a commotion,
There you go.
or an uproar. So you can say, oh, the kids are playing upstairs. There's a terrible rumpus going on. So,
Yep.
yeah. It's now I don't know whether he's done that deliberately. I hope so.
Yeah, that
That's-
would be nice. Yeah.
That's what a rumpus is.
We
All right,
used to
we
call
got-
it a rumpus a bit of a fight, but nobody got hurt. Pushing
No,
and
I think you'll
shoving,
find
you
that.
know? Yeah.
Ah, no, it's a very similar word for that. That was a ruckus.
What is a lemon
guys.
lemon bird?
Thank you, perfect segue. Now, we got Brian Mabbott shared a screenshot over here And people ask, which is the best definition of a triangle?
But I only see one definition, and which would mean there's more than one.
Oh, it's a lot of definitions, but he
okay,
decided
never mind.
to highlight what it says flat. He just highlighted what it says flat. That's all him. That's all it matters to him. But remember,
Oh, yeah.
Brian is not a flat earther.
That's the thing as well. Somebody just mentioned in the comments in your chat there, a rumpus room used to be a place in your building, like your basement, where you could leave the kids to just get noisy and get out your way.
No, that's yet another word. I think you'll find that's a romper room.
Yeah, but because of us living in different areas of the country, we would use rumpus or romper, romper, you know what I mean? Romper, you have romper suits. We don't have rumpus suits, but yeah, you have romper suits, So yeah, different places in the UK, we change our accents and we change what we
A romper room is a playroom for very young children.
Yeah, but check this out. Like
Rumpus.
that is a noun. It is a noisy disturbance, a commotion. And then you got the similar. All the similar is disturbance, commotion, uproar, confusion, furor, all the kind of shit. Isn't that crazy? What does rumpus mean in slang? A usually noisy commotion.
Yes. Hold on.
Another word for rumpus: tumult, uproar, disturbance, confusion, fun, colloquial. Whatever.
Fun? I don't know about that.
That's what I mean. A rumpus room used to be a fun room. Yeah.
What is a rumpus shape? That's a good question. A riot. Uproar and disturbance.
I predict a riot.
Oh man. Shad. Couldn't get better than that definition. Indeed. All right, we're gonna go back to the string theory here. You must have a NASA shirt, and you must know how to use yo-yos and go around the world with your yo-yo. That's string theory.
I don't have a NASA shirt, and I don't own a yo-yo.
All right. Blue Marble Science is in the house. Blue Marble Science, you were summoned by Gary when he said, I would like Blue and Bob to continue talking about string theory. And we found out that what Gary called string theory is what we were talking about. Example, like having a bucket string swung around ourselves to demonstrate gravity. That's what Gary called string theory. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how Gary would think that is string theory. Yes.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I'm not making that up. Gary is here. He actually said that.
Absolutely. Oh, there's no end to it.
Yeah, the world is connected to the sun by string, connected to the earth by string. Use string theory.
Well, Gary, it's it's sort of a way we go about explaining things to small children like you that helps them understand that centripetal force is very much like the force that pull on a string when you're swinging something like a yo-yo around in a circle. It's just a way of explaining it so that very young and very naive.
Centripetal force. What is centripetal force?
Centripetal force is the force required to cause an object not to go in a straight line.
And what causes that? No, not to go in a straight line. Centripetal would be something that's an effect from centrifugal pushing dense things outward, which forces things inward.
Hold on. Gary, your microphone is really shitty today. Microphone is really
I can't help it. This is what I got for right now. So.
All right. That's fair.
Mike, what are you saying?
We'll try to stay quiet as you talk about it.
Centripetal force is not a force, it's an effect. And it comes from when you have an enclosed thing that has various densities and buoyancies of things inside it that you start to spin. and then it spins to the outside because it's contained. It can only go so far, which pushes everything that's less dense inward. That's what centripetal is.
No, you clearly don't have a clue.
No, that
Densities
is
and
what it is.
buoyancy.
That's
It's
how
nothing
they
to do with density or buoyancy.
separate. That's how they separate cream from milk.
No.
Because the cream is lighter than the milk. The cream is lighter than the milk, and it spins to the inside, and they have a way of collecting
That's
it.
got nothing to do with centripetal force either.
That's centripetal force is when you have to have centrifugal force in order to get centripetal force.
No, that's exactly ass backwards, Gary. Centripetal
No,
force
it
is
isn't.
the actual force.
No, it's not
Centrifugal
a force.
force
It's an effect.
is an imaginary
That has to
force,
have a
Gary.
container to
Stop talking over the
positive.
top of me. Stop it.
Yeah.
Centripetal force is the actual force. Centrifugal
No, it's not a
force
force.
is an emergent force. It's an imaginary force. It's the
What's
reaction
an
to
imaginary
centrifugal
force?
force.
Is an imaginary force a force?
Still talking over you.
Gary, it's not a contact force, and it only occurs in a
So why do you
rotating.
call it a force if it's imaginary and it's not a force?
Well, this is the problem with young children that don't understand anything.
Centripetal
Gary,
force is
we
an
have
effect
to.
from centrifugal force in a container that's spinning.
Gary, you have to listen to this because the show will be destroyed because your microphone is not the best quality, and when one
I'll just
person
leave
is
mine.
talking, but listen, but you're doing it again. Listen, please. When one person is talking, I know you're gonna want to address it and have the conversation, but you have to wait till they finish because when you talk, it sounds really really bad because it cancels each other's voice, and what we hear is noise only. I want to hear what you have to say, but you have to wait till the other person finishes talking. I'm sorry, man. You're gonna have to change your style a little bit just for today, man. Just wait for one person to finish and then you can have your time. And when Gary is talking, I expect no interruptions for M2M. I know that you're excited or Blue himself. When Gary is talking, let him. Be self-aware that you're not going over 2 or 3 minutes just rambling. Blue, go ahead. You first and then Gary, please.
All right, let's go back again. Centripetal force is the force required to change the path of an object, which would otherwise be going in a straight line. In order to bend it, in order to change its direction, in order to make it go in a circle, we've got to apply force to it. That force is what's called centripetal force, and that's equal to the equivalent of that pull on the string when you're swinging something around on the end of a string, like a yo-yo. Centrifugal force is an emergent force. Centrifugal force is that force that makes you feel like you're being pushed to the outside of a car when you're going around a curve. Nothing is pushing on you. That's why we call it an imaginary force. It's not a contact force. It's an imaginary emergent force. That's how that really works. You've got it backwards, Gary.
All right.
Centrifugal is a change of direction when you're turning in a circle or an elliptical path. And when it's contained, when you're doing that kind of a twisting, turning force, it causes centripetal force, which is what goes to the inside.
No, that's backwards, Gary.
Yeah, leave it closed. Yeah, you cannot get centripetal unless you have an enclosure with the stuff inside that's spinning. Because otherwise, yes, they would. If you didn't have it contained, it would fling out to the outside, and there would be, because everything would just fling out to the outside. But because it's contained, it's basically displacement. The heavier stuff will move to the outside because it's being spun, but it can't fling out, being contained. So the lighter stuff will move to the inside. That's how they separate cream from milk.
Tell me when you're done. We're not going to argue about it, Gary. Centripetal force is an actual force. Centrifugal force is an emergent imaginary force. You cannot have centrifugal force without centripetal force. You got it exactly backwards.
Actually, it's you who got it backwards. You'll never get the centripetal without the centrifugal. And it has to be in a container, yes. So Gary, how they separate cream from milk, that's how they do it, because the lighter cream will move to the inside where they collect it.
Yeah, that's the limit of your knowledge, Gary. What comes out of a cow?
No, because that's what centripetal force does. Centripetal is an effect of a container that's spinning with centrifugal force, moving the heavier, denser things to the outside of the container. Just like when you're on one of those rides at the fair, the gravitron, it flings you to the outside. Well, if you were made out of gases or liquids and there was other liquids inside, the lighter ones, because of centripetal force, which isn't even a force, it's effect caused by centrifugal force.
You have
Or
one of
the
the
spinning of in a container.
you have one of the most thorough and complete misunderstandings of physics of anyone on this planet, Gary.
Gary wants to disagree with mainstream mathematicians and physicians for the last 350 years that have spoken and written and tested this.
When milk's put in the centrifuge, the lighter material goes to the outside. That's the cream.
What?
There you go.
Creams.
I think
lighter.
Show me an example, Blue, of centripetal
No, it's
force
heavy.
without something spinning in a container first.
Yeah.
Okay, a hammer thrower.
There is a centripetal force on that.
That's
The
that
hammer
guy
goes
right there.
flying.
That's that guy right
It's
there.
not
on-
contained. As soon as he lets go of the hammer, it goes flying, right? There. Where's the centripetal?
we're showing that right now. It's on screen.
I tried 3 times. He talked over me every time I tried, so I quit. I was like,
Sorry. Yeah. That's us, guy, man. We got to be patient, man. Have to be patient. Now, I got another one here. A guy swinging a bucket around him with water.
Cream is slightly less denser than milk, which is why the cream always goes to the surface. You don't get denser material rising to the surface.
Yeah, that's correct. But when you put it in a container that you spin, the cream will be forced to the inside by the centrifugal force, forcing the heavier, denser liquids to the outside where because they're contained. And so it pushes the lighter cream into the center where they can collect it.
Let me just read this to you. Milk is put in a closed container in a big centrifuge machine, and the container is spun at very high speed. The centrifugal forces act on milk and separate the mixture into a cream that is lighter, thus floats on top, and skimmed milk, which is at the bottom. Then cream can be separated from the milk.
They got it right until they said the cream will rise to the top. It won't rise to the top.
Whatever.
It only rises to the top. The only time it rises to the top if it's just sitting there still in a bucket, and it'll rise to the top. There's nothing forcing it. It will go to the top and float on top. But if you're spinning, it doesn't go to the top.
Although I missed that. First of all, big shout out to 60 people watching. I missed that when I was going to say it 5 seconds ago, but we got 58. Shout out to 50 plus people watching. Please don't forget to hit that like and share the show and support. There was one person that joined that had a hot mic, is gone. So if you are listening and want to rejoin, make sure that you have a decent enough microphone so we don't get a lot of background noise. Go ahead, guys.
I'd like to ask a question. Is centripetal force the same force that separates idiots from normal drivers when a truck takes a corner too fast and tips over?
I don't know, but I got on screen a GIF that Termin shared, and it's a skating couple skating in the ice. Look at that centripetal force on your face.
Oh, I can hear Ravel's Bolero from here.
Yeah, now let's do a thought experiment, okay? So let's just say the guy is standing there and the girl is skating by him. While she's skating, moving straight, he grabbed her by the hand. What's gonna happen?
Is his cream going to go down her arm and piss out her leg?
It's going to dislocate a shoulder.
Nah, it's
No,
not.
don't worry about it.
They do it all the time. They're ready for it. They're strong.
Actually, maybe we can find something like this.
All right, big shout out to Ben the Light for $4.99. That's a $5 from Ben the Light. Gary, can you identify the physical contact that causes the outward direction of the centrifugal force? That's a mouthful.
Gary,
And hold on, Brian. Let me repeat it one more time. Maybe we can understand it better if I repeat that, because it's there, but I just cannot. I'll try to understand it. Can you identify the physical contact that causes the outward direction of the centrifugal force? That's for Gary.
Actually, it's not even a force. It's just an effect of the spinning.
It's a force, Gary. You can measure it.
It's not a force. It's just an effect.
It's a force, Gary. You can measure it.
It's an effect. Even you just a minute ago, you said it was just an imaginary effect. So
no, I didn't say that. You're misquoting me. I said it's an
imaginary force.
Imaginary.
Switch back and forth.
Okay, Gary. Imaginary force is one way of describing it. We can call it an emergent force. We can call it a fictitious force. All of these things mean the same thing.
Describe emergent force.
I'll be glad to. Are you? Do you know how to shut the fuck up long enough to let me do it?
Yeah.
You think you could?
I thought you finished.
Oh, fuck off, Gary.
He was talking.
What's an emergent force? Just describe an emergent force.
Gary, an emergent force in physics is a force that only appears under certain conditions. Centrifugal force is one of those emergent, sometimes called fictitious, sometimes called imaginary forces that you can only have under a certain condition. And that condition is rotation.
All right. He's done now. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly what I've been saying. It's not a force. It's an effect of the spinning.
It's a force
that we can measure. Nope. It's just, it may have a kind of a forceful effect, but it's just an effect of the spinning.
Gary, it's a force that can be measured. It can be measured.
Yes, but it's not an actual force. It's an effect of the spinning.
No,
it's a force. Spinning is a force.
It's a force, but it can't be measured as a force. How does that work? What the hell? Harry, you
force can't be measured as a force.
How can a force not be a force if it's measured as a force? Please explain that. What the
Yeah, quite.
Shout out to Patio Furniture.
Put a
I
scale.
think Gary just argues just because he likes to argue.
Yeah, I think so. Put a scale between your shoulder and the side of the car and go around the curve and see if you measure a force. Scales measure force, Gary.
And you can't have centripetal without centrifugal, just like I said.
You can't have centrifugal without centripetal, Gary. You got it ass backwards, bud.
Nope, centripetal is the after effect of centrifugal.
No, sir. Centripetal is
yes, you can't have the one. You have to have the other first before you can get centripetal.
No, centripetal comes first. What a moron.
Gary, how many physics courses have you
comes second. Centrifugal, and the centripetal is just an effect of the centrifugal.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Which college did you go to take physics, Gary?
It doesn't matter which college I went to or if I went at all. It doesn't even matter. The fact is centripetal cannot occur unless you have centrifugal first.
No, you've got it the wrong way round.
No, because it's an effect of the centrifugal.
No, Gary.
And it has to take place within a container.
You've got it the wrong way round. And you don't need to contain
even a similar thing to the helium balloon inside a car when you accelerate forward and the helium balloon goes forward. It's the same kind of effect. Except for you're not spinning. You're just going straight forward and the heavier, denser gases inside the car go to the rear, pushing forward the lighter ones, which is a helium balloon.
Centripetal
so that would be
force
a kind of a centripetal force, even though it's not circular. Same kind of effect. The same kind of effect.
Such a fucking moron. It's unbelievable.
One forces the other because of they're in containers, and you have gases that move around, and you have displacement when the heavier gases are thrown to the outside or thrown to the back, and push the lighter ones up to the front or into the middle.
And what if you've got a container that's full of all the same gas that weighs all the same? What's going to happen there?
Or if you throw a hammer.
Wow, talk about just
That's the very definition of Dunning-Kruger. The very definition of it. I mean, holy shit! I mean, he's arguing against Newton, for fuck's sake. 350 years ago.
Oh, don't you chime in, Maverick, for fuck's sake. It's bad enough for Gary.
What is
Analyse it. Why don't you go
Hold on,
yourself?
please. Let's talk and
Fuck's
let's talk. Let's not interrupt with noise.
But he's not even a genuine flat earther. This whole thing's just him fucking about.
What is
Still fine.
causing the rotation to start with?
That's not even a question, Mavitt.
Yes, it is. That's
It doesn't make any difference what's causing the rotation.
I'll ask
What
you,
is
Brian.
causing the rotation?
I'll
Surely,
ask you.
whatever
Brian.
is propelling the
A drill motor's causing it. How's that? A drill motor's causing the rotation. Are you happy now, Brian?
Right,
Right.
so that is causing the input, yeah?
No. Listen, Brian.
Now,
This isn't a gearbox we're talking
Brian,
about, you know.
shut the fuck up and listen.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah, man.
You don't know.
I'm
Sorry.
answering you.
I
with a
don't
question.
want your input, thank you. We're
I'm
answering
answering
you.
He's answering the question, Brian. Shut up. Listen to the answer, for
I
fuck's sake.
don't want his input.
Oh,
You don't want the answer to the
What?
question you're
I
asking.
don't want yours.
I never
You
asked.
don't want the answer.
I said let's analyze it. You
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
you asked the
exactly.
question.
Because you all
Exactly.
think you're fucking cleverer than any cunt. And you're
Better
not.
than you, mate.
No, you are not.
Yes, we are. All of us are.
Come
With
on.
the exception of
Right.
Gary.
Not.
I'll present you a question that will help you
I don't
analyze it.
want your questions.
This
We are
will help you analyze
the
it,
force of
guaranteed.
Because you're not interested in the answers.
100%, Brian. Even you will get
Can
it.
we
He's gonna
have
get mad.
centripetal without having centrifugal?
Again, here I'm asking you.
I am not
On
asking
the
you.
back,
for-
Okay, I would like to
Sorry,
hear
please.
guys' answer. Yeah.
But Brian, you finished your sentence with a question mark. Now it's my turn.
No,
You're on.
excluding
Shut
China.
the fuck up, Brian.
I don't
I'm
want your
speaking-
answer.
Brian,
I
I'm
want to hear from
speaking
Chuck, so
now,
shut the fuck up, Brian.
and
Just mute
and
him.
I'm at least give me some respect because I'm older than you. Okay.
Only
Now
just.
There you go.
listen. Shut the fuck up.
How have you lived to this age? That's
Shut
right.
Oh,
the
God.
fuck up, Brian.
Okay. Chai and Mabit only. Let's not interrupt them.
So you're on the back on the seat of a seat of a motorbike. Yeah, you're familiar with motorbikes, right? You're on the back seat, and there is a pole on the way. The motorbike goes straight forward, no turns. You reach your hand and you grab that pole in the way. What is going to happen, Brian?
Grab what?
The pole. There is a pole in the way. And you reach your hand and you grab the pole. You have very strong grip. You won't let go. What will happen to Brian now?
I'm on a motorbike. He's pulled away. Let me just get this
No,
scenario.
the motorbike is moving straight.
Oh, it's
down the
moving.
road.
It's not just pulled away. It's moving.
It's moving.
And there's a lamppost, and I grab the lamppost. Is that what you
Right. Right. What's going to happen now?
said? I would imagine it'll rip me fucking arm out of its socket.
No, your arm is very strong. It will not rip. What will happen?
What will happen? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, Troy. Should we try it? You can do it. I'll ride the bike.
He
Right.
knows.
Do it.
He knows. He's just been deliberately obtrusive.
I don't know.
You go
His
around
scenario
it.
Right.
is ridiculous. What
The-
is he trying to say? All I said was, can we have centripetal
And I'm
without
answering.
having centrifugal?
And I'm answering. It's something you can try. Don't do it with your arm. Do it with some stick that has a hook on it, whatever. And you'll see what happens. The stick will start spinning around the pole.
And is that
There
centrifugal?
was no spinning before that. There was straight motions. Once you apply the force, you start spinning around the ball.
Is that centrifugal or centripetal?
Centripetal.
Centripetal.
Yes.
A pole rotating laterally around another pole is centripetal.
No, it's you rotating around the pole.
Yeah.
So that pole isn't trying to go outwards, no? Because I'd call that centrifugal.
Well,
I might be wrong.
you're saying it wrong, man, I think.
I think you're mistaken flat earthers for people who can understand more than simple concepts, which is why they think the earth is flat. It's very simple to understand that, but it's very complicated to understand a ball earth and all the other physics that go with it. So they just can't understand it, and you're trying to get someone like a baby to understand, an object when I move it behind a sofa hasn't disappeared, they just can't see it. You know what I mean? It's not object permanence kind of thing. Flat earthers just don't have that ability,
Very funny.
Yeah. Sir Isaac Newton.
Let's take the balloon instance in the car.
Well, let's stick with centripetal force. Let's don't get into.
He's in the car.
Yeah, Brian,
Give me a minute.
you stop Blues Thunder. You stop Blues Thunder. He was going, Sir Isaac Newton, and he was going to continue with the previous topic before.
Yeah, you're going off into another direction altogether. You're talking about balloons and cars. That's mostly what you're trying to describe is a linear motion. We're talking about rotation. Sir Isaac Newton described centripetal force as a force by which bodies are drawn or impelled or in any way towards a point as to a center.
Yes.
The only way that you can cause an object to follow a curved path is by applying a centripetal force to it in the direction of the center of rotation. That is centripetal force. Otherwise, the object will continue just in a straight line, according to Newton's first law. Period. So that's what centripetal force is. It is the force that is causing an object to follow a curved path. Without that force, without the centripetal force, the object moves in a straight line. Centrifugal force, because forces arise in pairs. Centrifugal force is the reaction to centripetal force. If you don't have centripetal force to pull it into a rotation to begin with, you can't have any centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is secondary. It's reactionary. It's the emergent, imaginary, all of those different words that we use. But basically, it's what we call an inertial force. Okay?
Which one? What did you say is inertial force?
Centrifugal force is an inertial force.
That's when an object rotates and the mass wants to go out.
Very quickly. Big shout out to the person that sent me $5 on PayPal. Help with the expenses, Jose. Thank you so much. Anonymous person who sent me $5. Let me know who you are in the chat box to give you a proper shout out. Thank you so much for the $5. Boom.
So what causes an object with mass to want to go inwards?
A force of some sort has to cause that. Exactly. You have to apply a force of some sort to cause an object to want to move toward the center of rotation.
Right. So all I know, and I might be wrong here, I'm not saying I'm right. When you rotate anything, if it's got any sort of mass greater than the medium it's in, it will want to go outwards.
Yeah, and that's centrifugal force.
And if that is in a medium that is less dense, the less dense medium would go inwards to fill the void where it's come from. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Would that be classed as centripetal force? Which you cannot do
not
unless
exactly.
You've got a mass going outwards.
No, that's not.
No, actually, what happened exactly is that because one matter is less dense than the other one, there's like some sort of competition between the two substances that are going into the centrifugal force applies to both of them.
To start thinking
How
about
rude.
Hot mic, Brian. Brian, hot mic. Do you hear Lewis?
They weren't listening to him. He's talking to Sue.
Yeah.
He was talking.
Oh, I've got him turned down.
Come
Oh,
on.
for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
I wonder
Lewis.
if Brian's ever been on a
Hold on
roundabout.
first. Lewis is
and
in the middle of something. Go ahead, Lewis.
Well, what's happening inside a centrifuge machine, for example, is exactly what happens, what we call gravity. Like there's this sorting of the substances within what you call the medium, based on the force that is applied equally to each of them. But since some of them are denser, there's like a competition between the substances, and the denser ones tend to go where the force applies. It's never got to. It's not about centripetal force.
But I just like
Pushed
to ask
around
if,
by the other molecules, if you will.
Shut up. The sort of practical use I can sort of bring forward is a governor, which is basically two bob weights that when it rotates, the bob weights physically want to go outwards because of their mass, and through a pivoting system, as they're going outwards, they push a rod and either reduce the steam into a steam engine or reduce the fuel into a diesel engine.
Right.
But
Right.
the initial force is the outward movement of the mass that are on these arms.
The outward movement is because the balls are trying to move in a straight line, Brian.
Yes.
The rods connecting the balls are providing centripetal force. They're pulling on those balls and causing them to go in a circle. Otherwise, the balls would just go straight. That linkage is providing the centripetal force, the force directed toward the center, the shaft of this thing. That's the centripetal force pulling on it. The centrifugal force is the apparent force that emerges from that.
So to have centrifugal force, we must have centripetal force then.
Exactly.
And to have centripetal force, we must have centrifugal force.
Well, if you have centripetal force, centrifugal force is going to emerge.
Right.
You can't have one without the other.
No.
Luke, can you never use the phrase "pulling on those balls" again, please? That was very disturbing.
I was trying to get something in here. Brian, have you ever been on a roundabout and your friends are pushing it and it's getting faster and faster, and you feel like you're going to fly off, so you hold on to the bars of the roundabout and you start pulling yourself in? That you're using a force to get back into the middle of the roundabout as it's spinning, trying to force you out. You understand? You're using a force to get back in near the centre.
But I'm countering the centrifugal force, aren't I? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, by applying a centripetal force.
I wouldn't need
An
to
additional
hold on if it wasn't being spun.
Right.
So the centrifugal force is emerged, and to counter that, we're doing centripetal force by tethering yourself.
By resisting it and pulling in. But at least look at it this way. Now you understand that fictitious forces actually are real.
A fictitious force is real.
Yeah,
Yes.
otherwise you would fly off the roundabout and end up with a bruised knee. You know what I mean?
Just because
Well-
it's termed a
welcome to
fictitious
gravity,
force doesn't
Brian.
mean to say it's not real.
All right, guys, I got the results of a poll that I posted a few minutes ago. We got 42 votes. Very, very good. The question is, who is right? And we had three options. The fourth option was nobody, but 0% voted nobody. So one of these three people was more right than the other. The three options were God, Gary, or Blue. So Gary is the lowest who was right with the 2% of the votes. God had a 7%, So God, he was more right than Gary. And then Blue, with a big 90%, swept the poll. Shout out to Blue for being right over God and Gary. Thank you very much.
I would like to say who thinks that Gary voted for himself.
Yeah.
It seems to be then the density of the object against the density of the medium.
No, where the fuck did you pull that?
Well, if we let's just
that's
say
right, out your ass.
Let me just say this then. If we had a helium balloon in a car full of air and we pulled forward, we would expect the helium balloon to go forward because the air would want to rush backwards, correct?
Yeah.
Now, if we change the scenario where the car is full of helium, but we put a hydrogen balloon in there, then what would be the effect?
Same thing.
Exactly, because what?
Because hydrogen is more dense than helium is.
Other way around.
The other way
Hydrogen's less dense.
I mean, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Yeah.
So it's medium related again, density related.
All right, let me ask you this, Gary. Let's put that helium balloon, forget about the hydrogen, all that stuff. Let's go back to helium and air in the car. Now, instead of going in a straight line, accelerating in a straight line, let's go in a circle. Which way will the balloon go?
It depends which way you're circling.
Inwards.
Which way will the balloon go with respect to the center of rotation? Doesn't matter whether you're going left or right. Let's put the balloon in the middle of the car. Let's start driving in a straight line. And the first thing that happens while we're accelerating is the balloon goes forward, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's start turning. Let's just say we'll turn left. It doesn't make any difference. Go either way. Balloon's sitting in the center. When we turn left and drive the car in a circle, a left-hand circle, which way is the balloon going to go?
Left.
Yeah. It'll go to the inside. That's the centripetal force.
The heavier medium of air would want to go outwards.
Out. Yeah, exactly.
So it would leave a void for the lighter gas to go into.
Yeah.
But if we reverse that and used hydrogen and helium, we would see the same results. So the helium then would become the heavier gas and want to go outwards, and the hydrogen would be the lighter gas and want to go inwards.
Yeah, but we're sort of mixing up two concepts here. You're talking on the one hand about things like governors, which are, solid objects, and forces in those solid objects, and now we're interjecting things like compressible gases, and now we get some different effects going on.
They're more dense. These bob weights, let's call them, are more dense than the medium they're in, i.e. air.
Yeah, the medium doesn't have anything to do with it, though.
Well, we've just said it does.
Not with those weights on a governor. Not at all, Brian. That doesn't care what medium it's spinning in. When we're talking about light gases.
Okay, all right. Let's do it this way then. Let's fill the car full of hydrogen and now still have the balloon helium.
Okay, you just want to confuse these two things.
No.
Yes.
If we accelerate now, which way is the balloon going to go?
Outwards.
If it can't go upwards.
Well, if I'm in the car and I light a cigarette, it's all going to blow the fuck up and it's not going to go anywhere.
It's going to go fucking bang. If the car was full of hydrogen and the balloon was still full of helium and we accelerated forward, which way would we expect the balloon to travel?
Backwards.
Stand by my answer.
Exactly. So it is medium related.
Not with... My gosh.
Well, you can picture it. You don't need a balloon. You don't need a balloon. If you have a mix of helium and hydrogen, then the same is gonna happen. You don't need a balloon.
How about this, Brian? If you took the vast majority of the air out of a car and basically created a near vacuum, which way would the balloon go?
Well, I got to figure Yeah, man. I got an image on screen. This is what will happen if you fill your car with helium balloons. It will
You mean-
float away.
Is that what it is?
If the balloon doesn't explode, right?
Now, if we take, for instance, the governor with the bob weights, if we change them bob weights to, let's say, wood, right, in air, they would still try and go outwards. But
That's right.
if we had that governor under water,
They'll still go out.
they would already be outwards because they're trying to rise.
Oh, God.
We've changed the medium, and it has changed the effect.
Yeah. Yes, Brian. If we made them out of ping pong balls, they'd go straight up, right? How about this? How about we do this? Let's make them lighter, like you said, and the governor's standing still, and they're less dense than water. Let's make them ping pong balls. They're really light, right? And now let's spin them. Which way will they go? Will they still go up?
They would flatten outwards, wouldn't they? From being
Yeah. How about that? How about that? That thing that's less dense all of a sudden is not going up anymore. It's going out.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
But the medium is more dense than the governor material. How can this be? Surely the material, the liquid medium that it's in would want to ensure that it can't go out.
I would hope that doesn't happen. Really would.
Yeah.
I think maybe if we changed the density of the wood and Brian's brain to brain matter, he may be able to think straight,
Not be nasty. I was being condescendingly sarcastic. That's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, I think I'm throwing respectably, responsibly. What do you think, Jose?
I'm not shouting tonight.
Throw responsibly is the key.
What would happen?
I'm throwing responsibly.
Hold on, guys. Everybody shut up. Hi, Susan.
Hi, darlings. You all right?
Yes. I'm glad that you sound good. You sound happy. Brian doing okay?
He is. He's not shouting.
Good. He was earlier. Now I gotta cool it off now.
Oh, I was out at the shop.
No wonder why he was yelling.
Yeah. You could tell when Sue's not there.
Good to hear you. Take care of yourself. Be safe.
I said, what'll happen if we tie 2 helium balloons to Brian?
Nothing.
That's a good test. Let's all get together and go over.
How big are they? Oh, I like Sue.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
If they're large enough.
He's a Darwin, mate. He's a Darwin. You know what I mean? Too good for Brian.
Oh, gee.
Good times.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. What's the next subject? We've sorted that one out. I was going to say to Gary, if he's still here, them centrifuges, the ones I've seen doing blood, they don't go like vertical. They only pitch out to about 45 degrees. So when they say they scrape the cream off the top, it's because the container is probably only at 45 degrees.
Actually, I've used them. So actually, the part when you put the pot is flexible. So when they are going outwards, they have the ability to go completely horizontal.
What's that? A blood one?
Yes.
Yes.
And you get the heavier deposits at the bottom of the, what is it, a test tube or something you use?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
The plasma is at the top, and the blood cells are at the bottom.
Right. So there's no restriction of the pitch then? They can go from vertical to horizontal?
Yes, the faster you go, the attractions.
Yeah.
Oh, please
I got a
don't
quick
go
question.
attractions.
I got a quick. Quick question to Brian from Fred Bailey. Can you have milk without a container?
Yeah. I suppose. Well, no, because in the udder
You can. You can have milk without a container. It's all over the floor, though.
In the udder, it's in a container, isn't it?
He's asking Susan, making sure he got the answer right.
I'd like to say sealed container. Can you have milk without a sealed container? I know it comes in a carton or a bottle, but you put it in a bowl. It's not sealed.
Mate,
and it doesn't float in the air.
if it's only in a sealed container, you ain't drinking that milk, are you?
Yeah,
What about milk in a vacuum? What about milk in a vacuum? Can you have milk in a vacuum?
You can have any liquid in a vacuum.
Will it still be liquid in a vacuum?
No.
For a minute.
You know, it would separate, I think, wouldn't it, into solids in the way and all the rest of it, probably. I should
Boil
imagine.
and freeze.
It would particulate, but you would still see blobs blobbing together because of the slow electromagnetic force and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, and a vacuum.
Brian, that's the next topic. There you go. Vacuums and liquids in it. Tell us what are your thoughts there?
Who, me?
In relation to Earth and what we live in and the oceans, and then we shift to vacuums and liquids in it. What are your thoughts when you hear all of that?
Well, the only thing I know anything about is water cannot siphon more than 33 feet. And it can't do that because at 33 feet, the draw is obviously a negative pressure, and you get to 1 bar and water cracks into a gas.
Well, I don't think that's right. I'm sure it depends on how powerful your pump is.
I the point, but that's exactly why you can't siphon over 33 feet. Because 33 feet of water is 1 bar.
What do you mean by siphon? Are you using a pump to siphon or sucking it with your mouth? What do you mean by siphon?
Yeah, a natural siphoning effect, like having one jar above the other, putting a tube between the two.
You mean 33 feet up?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to suck 33 feet up? Yeah.
To lift water more than 33 feet is impossible. It has to be pumped because it turns into a gas. And then you get aeration in the vacuum, and then the siphoning stops.
I'm glad I'm sitting down because Brian is I'm struggling to bring myself to say this, but I'll push on through it. Brian is absolutely right.
I don't know if you're right.
I now feel very faint, and like I said, I'm glad I'm sitting down.
100 feet trees suck water to the top of their trees and give water to the leaves up there. I mean, that's basically siphoning. We might call it something, but it's basically siphoning water from the ground up 100, sometimes 190 foot tree to the leaves at the top. How are they doing that if it turns to a gas? I don't understand that.
It's pumped under a pressure.
Yeah, pumping's different. That's one of the reasons we have to.
Tree is pumping water.
Hold on, there's Blue. Why you think?
Oh, a tree. Is that what you said?
Hold on, Brian. Blue has a thought on it. I want to hear what he says.
Oh, now you're going to get into capillary action and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's wicking, isn't it? Isn't it what they call wicking, where it literally absorbs up through the tree? It's like
still going up through small pipes. You know what I mean? So it's still being sucked up by evaporation at the top, pulling water up from the bottom. So it's sucking water up. I know the capillaries, but it's getting up 100 feet. You know what I mean? What the hell are you on about?
It's not the same reaction. What we're talking with a siphon is a draw. So the water's going up and then down. And that upward motion cannot be more than 33 feet, just like farmers confirm.
He's absolutely, Brian on that score is absolutely right.
Well, technically, the water's not being drawn up; it's being pushed up by the atmospheric pressure.
Yes, and the 33 feet, the 10 meters, is equivalent to an atmosphere. It's the same. It's reached atmospheric pressure,
and that's why.
That's why it can't go any further.
Can't go any further. You've run out of atmospheric pressure. Now you can push it further up the tube, all right. You just need to increase the pressure.
And he's also right. The pressure at the crown of the siphon falls below the vapor pressure of water, causing water to boil, breaking the column. So in on that facet of it, Brian is absolutely right. I'm feeling very faint now.
I've got to click that. I've got to click that.
Go and have a lie down, farmers.
Well, it might be this glass of wine I've had. I might need another one. I'm not sure.
Actually, Sue told me that.
We don't use water barometers for a number of reasons. That's one of them.
That is one. Yes,
that's one of them. The practical one is the damn thing would have to be 33 feet tall to begin with.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. But water's vapor pressure is much, much, much higher than mercury is. Mercury has a slight vapor pressure, but that's why we use mercury barometers. They're short, and you don't have that vapor pressure issue. Mercury doesn't.
We also use blue, if I'm not wrong. We also use alcohol as well in some barometers. Is that not right?
I've never seen an alcohol barometer. It'd be the same thing as water. You'd need one 33 feet tall.
Oh no, I'm talking not that big. Actually. I'm talking about. I've seen barometers where they changed from mercury to an alcohol because they didn't want mercury in people's homes.
That's thermometers.
Yeah.
Brad, is it coincidence that it's 33? Is it coincidence that it's 33? Is there any significance behind 33?
Yeah, it comes after 32.
Yeah, because now it's not coincidence because it's tested. Then why all the other 33s and the 666 have to be a coincidence and the devil work in it when it's testable? You know, all of this stuff.
Use metric system. That's the solution.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 meters. There or thereabouts.
I think there's a lot of things in nature that sort of equate to 33, 66, and
things are testable. Actually, you can measure things and test it and angles and all that kind of shit, and it just is what it is. It's a coincidence. I mean, what? There's no work of the devil there and none of that shit. It's weird. People think like that. Numerology, I call it a bunch of bullshit. Interesting, but just no grasp with reality, you know.
There's that movie with Jim Carrey that proves that you can do that with any number. If you want to focus on 23, then you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I did look up alcohol barometers, and yes, alcohol is used in barometers. So it can have a great range of 300 degrees C, but accuracy limits to plus minus 5 degrees C high temperatures. So yeah,
that's
alcoholic barometer. Yeah.
No, we're talking about barometers. You're talking about thermometers.
No, it's a barometer. I just looked it up. Alcoholic used in barometer. B-A-R-O-M-E-T-E-R.
So why were you quoting temperatures? Why was you quoting temperatures in degrees C?
It says here the pressure that encloses the PV equals small n RT value of everyday life. It says barometer. You know what I mean? So it's not a thermometer, it's a barometer. It says barometer here. You know?
Yeah, but never mind. You were quoting temperatures in degrees C.
Yeah, that's a spirit thermometer. Yeah, no, but the barometer is if you add a small amount of alcohol to the empty space of the barometer, it will immediately increase the vacuum pressure that is enclosed to the PV equals small n RT value of everyday life. The reason is that alcohol, unlike mercury, has a large vapor pressure near room temperature. So that's So I have.
So you've just read that from van.physics.illinois.edu, blah blah blah, and you'll notice that it actually says adding a little amount of alcohol to the top of a mercury barometer.
Okay, so yeah, it wasn't just to get rid of, but I thought it was to get rid of mercury. So yeah.
Brian's getting confused about vectors again.
Bring it up.
Well, that was nice.
Well, at least I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, even when I pull up the wrong information. You know what I mean?
Can I just say a big shout out to Sue for clearly teaching Brian something.
You think?
Do you know, Brian? I'd really like to meet Sue. I mean, I've already met you, and whatever. But I'd like to meet Sue and just shake her hand and say, "How do you put up with him after all these years?" You know.
Better than that, mate. I'd like you to take her off my hands.
Oh my God!
No, you're fine, mate.
Man, you start.
I take it she's not within. She can't hear what you just said.
No, she can. Yeah.
Oh, and she's just fair enough. How long you been married?
How long have you been married to?
See, you can't remember.
He doesn't know.
I don't.
That's not a good question to ask your wife, I tell you.
45.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because
Almost as bad as asking what her birthday is.
after all those years, she's quite used to you and your little ways, shall we say?
I know.
This is almost like being asked. I saw it on your go, Brian. Sorry.
Is that all mine? That's yours. Sake, I won't eat all that.
Oh dear.
Well, if you can't eat it, you're the dog.
Get
Go
out.
on.
Fuck off.
Go on, have your dinner, Brian.
Yeah,
Just because that's like
one of my uncles.
Sorry,
they
I've
had their,
too much.
Yeah, have you dinner?
one of my uncles had their 61-year anniversary about a
Wow,
month ago.
61 years.
And my parents, my dad and my mom, they had their 53 or 54 year in March.
My mum and dad just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary.
Bloody hell.
What did my
That's
parents
something.
get to? 50. I think they got to 55 years, and yet.
Still good.
Oh, yeah.
I think my mum was competing with what do you call her?
I nearly made 10.
I think my mum was competing with some film star or other. She'd been married 4 times.
Oh no, it's 65th. 56th, sorry. Fuck's sake, what did I say 65th? 56, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. Completely the wrong way around. What the fuck?
Yeah, 1967. The year the council built that farm for them.
I've got to say, though,
I
my
gotta-
mum outlived 3 of those men, so, you know.
I got an image over here by Brainary about vectors. Vector addition is cumulative.
Yes.
Notice that regardless of the color of addition of vectors, the resultant of some vector in magenta color is the same.
Magenta.
Vector addition is cumulative.
What it's basically saying is when you've got several vectors sort of all work. Take that example in the top left-hand corner. You've got 3 vectors there, V1, V2, and V3. Now, you can combine all those vectors together to find the sum of the vectors, and that comes to the vector that's painted in magenta, which is labelled R, as in, I'm guessing, the resultant. So, although you've got what appeared to be 3 separate movements, you can combine those movements together, and what you actually get is R.
Yeah.
And that's how multiple vectors work. You can sum the vectors, you can add them all up, and the resultant is the actual direction of travel.
Would that be called
The more we
vector?
know.
I've heard a lot of people, what's your vector, Victor? So is that a vector?
The more we know.
Yes, well, he
Roger.
was asking for a vector, wasn't he? He was asking Victor for a vector.
Roger.
Huh?
That's where it is. It's Roger. Oh, I'll get it now.
Well, there was Roger, Victor, and who was the other one? I can't fucking remember then.
Somebody shared this with Essie Monreal, and
Yes,
him
because
to
he gets
to
very, very
understand.
confused about vectors, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And this is why you can have several different vectors all acting on an object. But when you combine all the vectors together, you end up with the resultant, which is actually the direction and magnitude in which the in this case the object's going to go.
Yeah.
A gadification is when the vector on your legs is longer than the vector on your head. When you're approaching a black hole?
Yeah, probably.
So a black hole.
Is the black hole a flat black hole? Or is it a curved black hole? That's what I'm trying to wonder. You know what I mean?
It's not a hole.
It's a bagel. It's a bagel.
Yeah, but is it curved or is it flat? You know, I'm just.
It's a bagel shape. Bagel shape.
Yeah, attractive. Flat or round?
Bagel.
It's a bagel. Bagel.
A torus.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not any of them. Isn't it a singularity?
You seen everything everywhere all at once? It's a bagel.
Oh, I must watch that again. I must find time to watch that again because I'm sure I missed so much in it.
Yeah, it's a bagel. When you put everything on a bagel, it becomes like a black hole. You know, it becomes a black hole.
Yes.
Oh, don't you making me hungry? I'm gonna have I've got bagels as well now. I'm gonna get one.
When I put everything on a bagel and eat it, it makes me pinch my black hole.
I mean, that's all well and good, but I think you just got to have that image. That just said it for me.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, bro. That made me tear up. That scene, bro.
Yeah.
It is very emotional. This scene.
It is.
It's right now. It's an emotional scene on a movie. Well, you guys believe it or not.
You have. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it to believe it. It's a very special moment.
It's special indeed. Yeah.
It truly is emotional. Yeah.
I would have thought a rock with googly eyes. Sorry.
As Philly said, gentlemen, it's been emotional.
What scene are you talking about?
This is from the film Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All right, okay.
If you like your films a little bit sort of left of center, you know, a little bit odd out there, watch it. It's brilliant. It's a most excellent film.
Okay.
Big shout out to big shout out to Thurs gave me money. Hold on. Thurs gave me money. That was 1167 by Thurs. I rounded up to $12. Thank you, Thurs. Appreciate your support on paper, man.
You're welcome.
The title of the movie is somebody
can you post it in chat?
Yeah, I'll post it. I don't know where you can find it. You can find it places.
I'll just put I'll put the IMDb link in. That'll give you a.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
I mean, I'm a big fan of crazy movies like Eraserhead and stuff. So
it stars Michelle Yeoh, the one who she shot to fame in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and there are so many other familiar faces that you'll see in there.
The most successful movie from A24 so far.
It's quite something.
Yeah. Amazon Prime. Somebody say I think you can find it on Prime.
Remember the young lad in the second Indiana Jones film? Was it Short Round?
Short Round.
He's in it. He's all grown up, obviously, and you realise how old that film is.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, he's not a little boy anymore.
That must be the end of the 80s or something, wasn't it?
I didn't ever think he would ever grow up. Like I just picture him as a little boy to this day. Like, you know, crazy.
Not quite. Yeah, that film makes up for all the shit ones I've seen this year.
ones? I'm curious now.
Hey, which ones? Oh.
Yeah. Which ones? I'm curious now.
Okay, what have I watched recently? The Grey Man. Instantly forgettable.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, that's only come out recently. That's got.
I just watched that. I just watched it last night.
And
that's the one with
I
what's
thought
his
it was
name?
pretty good. If you like action movies, I mean, that was okay, but yeah, it's one of those you watch it one time and that's pretty much it.
It was originally made to be an 18 certificate, and then they had to drastically cut and edit it to bring the certificate down. And yeah, it's never. It's one of those films you watch it once and think, yeah, won't bother with that again. Load of old toss.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. God, I'm trying. Oh,
Be afraid. Be very afraid. I think the days of really good movies. Sorry if I was boy on go.
No, I just wondered what film was that the tagline to?
Oh God! To be honest,
No,
with you,
I
I can't
can't-
remember. I just remember it being a tagline. I don't remember what movie it is. I
I
watched
can't
Which
so
line you
many.
talking about?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Is that Batman?
No, it's Aliens. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's
Oh,
Screen
aliens. It's Predator or something. Is it Predator versus aliens or some fucking thing? I don't
Yeah, it is
know.
Predator. That's it. Predator. That's the one. Predator. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
no,
which one?
that's
Which
not.
one was the Fly?
It's The Fly.
Oh, for... Okay.
Obviously the remake, not the original
Is
black
it
and
the
white.
Fly or the Fly too?
I haven't seen
Just
that
like-
movie in probably
With Jeff
25
Goldblum
years,
as
30 years?
Brundlefly. It's one of his
Oh,
finest
yeah,
moments, I think.
Yeah. So that would be the original Fly, not Fly 2. Yeah.
No, it's
Well-
the original Fly. Yeah.
The remake, not the original 60s black and white. I bet you've never seen that one either, have you?
Yeah, I've seen the
Ooh.
original 60s one, you know. Yeah.
Look
This
the
is
Jeff
terrible.
Goldblum one.
Yeah, the one with Jeff Goldblum. What you got to remember is most of these classic horror films that came out in the 80s are all remakes. The Fly was a remake. The Thing was a remake. They were all sort of 60s black and white horror flicks with blokes in dodgy rubber suits and all the rest of it, you know. The original version of The Fly finished up and you had a fly with a man's head and he's stuck in the spider's web and he's going, help me, as the spider
Oh,
moves in on him.
Are you sure that's not the Incredible Shrinking Man?
Yes, The Fly.
I think I've seen
He
a
is right.
cartoon
He is
version
right.
of that. What
You
you
would-
just described.
I'm sure you will have done, but that is, I mean, yeah, the Thing, the absolute classic John Carpenter, The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
That is a remake of, I think it was called The Thing from Outer Space.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I got to say this right now because right now is the moment. I am an uncle again. My niece, the daughter of my sister that lives here, my niece had a baby like right now. I just got news 2 minutes ago. They say your niece is really, is in bad shape in the hospital. She's trying. She's been there for hours trying to have her baby, but she got diabetes and a bunch of shit. And right now, 5 seconds ago, hey, you're an uncle. Congratulations of a little girl. So thank you. Yay.
Oh, congratulations.
Another little
Uncle
girl
again.
to the family. Yay. I like it. I'm happy. I just needed to say that there to be in the record.
Farmers
There
the
we go.
Birds. That was a remake, wasn't it?
But The Birds? What, you mean the Hitchcock classic?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's an original.
Hitchcock didn't do remakes. They have been, I mean, obviously, because somebody quite a while back did a scene for scene exact copy of Psycho, which was, wow, criminal, I think, to be honest. But no, Hitchcock didn't do remakes.
No.
So, Uncle Jose, eh?
Yeah, man, again.
Theo.
Yeah.
Theo.
Yeah.
Is that your
Little
first
girl.
niece or nephew? Did you say it was a
No,
little girl?
I got many. My nephews already got many nieces, many babies, but this one is her first baby. She was my sister's baby,
Yeah.
you know. She was my sister's baby, and now she's got the first baby. So my sister is a grandma for the third time now. First time from
Wow.
her. You know? Very cool.
Wow.
I'm very happy.
I presume that they're both fine, fit, and healthy.
Yes, the other told me they're good, taking care of my niece now because she's she got health issues, but it's all good. I told her everything's gonna be all right. We are not in like a low income country. We're in the United States. She's gonna be all right. Yeah, everything came out good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. Yeah.
Cool.
Good. Thank you.
So yes, that's a link to the original Fly, 1958, and the original Thing, The Thing from Another World, 1951.
Yeah, it's 1951. Yeah. Watch the Skies.
I mean, there were original films. I mean, American Werewolf in London, another absolute classic, particularly because it was all practical effects. That wasn't, a remake as such.
No, that was quite original. I hated the second one in Paris. No.
Oh God, yeah,
Paris, that was horrible. Yeah.
That's awful. But yeah, every time I end up on the tube and have to get off at Tottenham Court Road, I always think of American Werewolf in London.
Yeah. With he chases the guy onto the stairs with the briefcase.
That's right, because that was filmed in Tottenham Court Road. I think they did that early morning for the few hours when the tube gets shut down. And
There's a few. I'm not against remakes because if a remake is shitty, you still got the original, so it's no issue.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm okay with them.
No,
And
I mean, yeah,
sometimes, it's good. It's good to revisit the story from a slightly new perspective. Now there are some remakes that they're like exact copies of the movies. I haven't seen it when they remade it, but I heard and everybody say I seen comparisons. It's like the same movie, just redone, with clarity and more spark and special effects and shit. But it's like the same thing.
To be honest, I liked
the blob was good. I enjoyed the Blob from the 80s.
Oh yeah, I
saw the old one. I saw it once when I was a kid, but when I was a teenager, now capability of understanding movies, I watched the 80s one, and I enjoyed it a lot, man. I liked it.
I've just put the link in there to the original, The Blob, 1958, starring Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
The remake.
I haven't seen it again.
Yeah, the remake is very good because obviously, the special effects are much better and the people are melting inside the blob, and it's.
But yeah, seeing the blob spill out from the cinema, people running about for it, you could see it was all like CGI green screen up, but oh my God, it was so good. It was such an intense movie at my age at that time.
The two remakes that I remember, I was looking forward to see, and I remember seeing them, and I was disappointed. I wasn't disappointed that I didn't enjoy the movie. I enjoyed the movies, but I was disappointed that it didn't fulfill, what I was expecting to, like the originals. The remakes are Friday Night and Evil Dead, both of them. I watched the remakes, and they didn't do it for me. Evil Dead, original is never going to be topped for me.
There's a special place in my heart for the Evil Dead films. Yeah. The originals.
Friday Night is going to be topped. Yeah, originals are good.
I mean, the original Evil Dead. If you look at it now, the special effects, it looks like it's done in plasticine because that's pretty much what it was.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love the first one.
For me,
scary. Yeah.
For me, Evil Dead 2 is just still one of the funniest horror films I've ever watched.
One of my favorites.
I mean, there's so when he cuts his hand off and chases it around the house, and he stands in front of the mirror, he says everything's okay, and his reflection comes out the mirror and says, "What do you mean everything's okay? You just hacked your girlfriend up with a chainsaw."
It was so unexpected. So unexpected the first time I watched it because I was expecting certain seriousness like the first one and really scary. And it had some things scary as like demons, but it was funny. It was funny like a motherfucker.
It's just so I smell your soul. I smell your soul. Swallow this, bitch.
Yeah.
It's just
I remember
he's such a
going
cool
and
character in
watching-
that. How'd you turn this thing off?
I remember going and watching a movie when I was really young. I probably sneaked in. I was probably 13. I think it was called Dance of the Vampires. There's probably changed its name now, but that was funny as hell as well. You can probably Google that and find it. But that was funny as hell. And God, what was the other one? The House series? No, House 1, House 2, House 3. I thought they were American, but they were comical as well.
quick comment, right? We were quick comment about the Evil Dead before I move on. Sam Raimi is because after Evil Dead, and I said like, yeah, this is new style, and scary. But then I watched the Spider-Man movies, the older ones, like with the Tobey Maguire from the late 90s and early 2000s, which they were good, and they were directed by Sam Raimi, which is the Evil Dead guy,
Yes.
And then now I watched the new Doctor Strange movie. Is directed by Sam Raimi, and he brought a lot from the Evil Dead and from the Spider-Man movies. But it does have a lot of the Evil Dead vibe feel to it. Now it's very colorful and very sparky, but you feel the Sam Raimi in the movie. You can taste it big time. That's the most I enjoy. It's corny, it's weird, it's strange, but if you don't know Sam Raimi, the jobs that he did before, like Evil Dead, you wouldn't enjoy this movie as much as if you were a fan of Evil Dead. That's kind of my take on it.
Also, doesn't Ash make an appearance?
Ash made an appearance, yeah.
Yes.
He made an appearance and in the after credits. Yeah.
Oh, in Doctor Strange. Yeah. He is the guy slapping himself, yeah.
Gotta love Sam Raimi, man. He's awesome. And that guy, what's his name? Bruce Campbell. He's the guy that appeared in all the Sam Raimi's movies. He's the Stan Lee. He's the Stan Lee to Sam Raimi. He got to make a cameo appearance in the Sam Raimi.
Can I just say that if we're saying Bruce Campbell, all I need to say is Bubba Hotep. Bubba Hotep is just
That is a crazy movie. Yeah.
That is but it's Bruce Campbell through and through. I mean, it's just I must watch that again. Actually, thinking of it, I'll have to download that and watch it.
All right, guys. I have an image I've been sharing. I haven't read this, but this is shared by M2M, who said this is total nonsense. M2M, what do we have over here?
Oh yeah, sorry. It was just a meme that I found on Facebook, and it's basically.
You want to read it and tell us?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me go. Where have you put it?
You're finding some right stuff and putting them in your Twitter stream, aren't you, mate?
I know. Yeah. This is not quite as derpy as some of the stuff I find, but yeah. It's still
Did it open the image or watch my screen share?
Yeah. I see it now. Yeah. It says Newton's third law of motion: movement is the result of interaction between two objects, which is absolute nonsense because what the Newton's third law actually says is for every action,
motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for every action or a force, every action or a force,
equal and opposite reaction of force.
Equal and opposite reaction, exactly. Yeah. So it's got nothing to do. Basically, what he's saying is the maker of this meme is saying that he needs something to push that to actually happen, which is just not the case at all.
Well, if it was the case, then when you exploded something underwater, it would always go down because gas is lighter than water. So why when you have an explosion underwater, you see all these stuff firing up through the water? Why no? It just doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
Obviously, whatever's being fired up through the water is overcome the force that the water is pressing down on it, and that's why explosions go out from all different directions in a sphere underwater, and they do the same in space when you explode something in space.
Mm. I mean, the bottom part, vacuum cannot be considered an object because, by definition, vacuum is the absence of matter. I mean, that's fair enough if you've got a perfect vacuum, but we don't in space. There is matter in space. It's everywhere. Well, not literally everywhere, but
not that rockets need it to push against it. Anyway.
No, exactly. In a rocket engine, the forces are all created within the combustion chamber. When all the gases are ignited, it causes a pressure. I mean, you're talking anything up to something like 3,000-4,000 psi, which is about 250 bar, something like that, which is massive pressure. So the exhaust comes out the back, and obviously, you got the equal and opposite reaction. The rocket moves forward. Needs nothing to push against. It's pushing against itself, essentially, really, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, if you explode a pound of dynamite underwater, it will still form a sphere of explosion.
Yeah.
You explode it in the air, it would still, no, on the topic of policy 12 feet high, it would still show you a sphere of explosion. You take it into space and explode a pound of dynamite, it will still explode and show you a sphere of explosion. But as you go from dense water to air to space, the explosion will look bigger because there's less to push against. That's all you've got to understand about it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
There's an image right now.
Vacuum.
One of the easiest ways to
on a
look at
vacuum
it.
versus a no vacuum. Go ahead.
One of the easiest ways to look at it is the rifle does not kick more depending on what it hits, what the bullet hits.
Yeah, quite.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. That I like that. Yeah.
You can thank America for that.
American as guns.
Really?
Yeah,
Who
we
invented
wish you right.
Who invented the rifle?
And the tank, I might add.
Well, that goes without saying. God, yeah.
No, the point is it's in common use here in America. We shoot rifles quite a bit, so that's an analogy a lot of people will understand here.
That's fair enough.
Mm. Yeah, I do like that, Angela. It's good.
Can a person be inside a vacuum without any protection whatsoever?
No.
Oh, yeah. Of course you can.
Well, you
You're not going to do you any favours, though.
Yeah.
Just want to get it very quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you step inside a big vacuum it out slowly, that you can, let's say you can hold your breath for 2 minutes, right? So
you mustn't. You actually mustn't.
Let me finish giving my example. Let me propose my situation, and then you guys tell me what's wrong with it. Let's say there's a big enough vacuum for me, like a phone booth, right? Vacuum size. I strip down, hold your breath. Now we're gonna start just doing the vacuum. It will take 30 seconds for the vacuum to suck all the air out, and I'll be sitting in there for an extra minute to hold my breath, and then they just pump the air back in, and I just breathe in, and they open the vacuum. Is that possible? Yes or no, and why?
Yes, you could probably survive that.
No.
There is one point though. You should not try to hold your breath. You actually should let the air exit your lungs, because if you do that, there's a risk of explosion. The air will anyway try to go out any way that it can.
Yeah.
And it's too strong against your muscles. You cannot resist it.
Won't work. If you say, technically speaking, if you could, I mean, your basically your lungs would technically explode. I guess could explode out of your chest.
Right, you could still survive it, but you wouldn't be in good shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't live.
Jose, do you know what a love?
Hey, Brian, wait. Well, I don't think it matters much if you explode or you don't explode. You die anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
Oh, you'd be very damaged. You'd probably lose your sight, your hearing, because you'd pop your ears.
Everything. So I say that's not possible. I wouldn't survive it. Then.
No.
You guys say.
You might survive, but you're going to be very, very damaged.
Do you know?
No, you're not going to survive.
Jose, do you know what?
Brian, go ahead.
Do you know what a love bite is? A hickey, we used to call them.
Yes.
That is just a vacuum, a very low vacuum on your skin, and it brings all your blood up through
So somebody sucking on your skin is probably higher than just an ordinary vacuum.
Yeah, because it's in a condensed spot. It's in a small spot.
You think so?
Takes a lot of force, yeah.
Watch this bloke's hand in this vacuum chamber. Look, instantly bright red.
Yeah, bright red, but it's not. His skin isn't busting out. I mean, it's got come on.
No, I mean
that's not the same, Brian, because he's outside and the pressure on him is still 1 atmosphere.
What?
The pressure on him, on his body, is 1 atmosphere, and that goes inside the vacuum through his hand. So he has a pressure inside his hand of 1 atmosphere and nothing out.
Yeah, because the blood's still flowing through his body, Brian. You know, in a normal.
Completely immersed in the vacuum.
We've evolved to survive the conditions we find ourselves in. So, our body operates at 1 atmosphere pressure because that's generally where we are all the time.
Let me hear the opinion from Bob or Blue. Both of you or one of you, if you want to give. If it was possible to create a vacuum human size and I step in a vacuum, they suck all the air out, what would happen to me? I die? Would it suck my, would it pull my intestines off my ass? Like, what would happen,
It wouldn't be good at all. It wouldn't be good at all. Your guts would probably have some problems because of trapped gas in there. Your eyes and your mouth would, the saliva and fluids would boil off. It would not be a very pleasant 30 seconds.
All right.
But do you, like I say, Dr. Bob, you would probably survive, but would be seriously injured, perhaps, but could survive it?
I don't know if your inner ear could survive it, could it?
I think it's actually happened to some astronauts during some of their testing processes. I'm not sure about this, but I've heard and read about something. I don't know if it's true, but I think some people have been exposed to vacuum, for a short period of time.
Yeah, Jim LeBlanc did. He almost died. He was exposed for 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds I would say you might be able to tolerate and recover from. After that, you're going to run into serious problems.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing in aviation. There's a thing in aviation called the Armstrong limit, and it's around 60,000 feet. And at that pressure, I don't know exactly what it is at 60,000, but it's not really a good vacuum even yet. But at that pressure, bodily fluids begin to boil.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that pilots flying U-2s and stuff like that have to be in pressure suits in case that aircraft depressurizes.
Yep.
You cannot survive.
Otherwise, it would not be a good day.
Right.
So interestingly, it's far worse to be like in a pressurized chamber at like something like 9 bars and go straight to 1 than to be at 1 and go straight to vacuum. But what was it? The Dolphin Bell or something like that? Those guys were in a pressurized chamber, and it depressurized violently.
Oh yes. Yes, made a right mess of them.
And within the same example that I did, is the opposite. If you like the effect of going down hundreds of meters down under the water without a suit, it will try to implode, right? The body like it will be pressure in or what? Like if you got a vacuum now, you got a chamber and you just add more pressure to it. What will the effect happen?
It depends on the speed, because you can sustain a pretty high pressure. Your body can sustain a pretty high pressure, but if you depressurize too fast, then you might die immediately. Or if it takes something like days.
It's nitrogen, yeah. Narcosis.
The bends.
Yeah.
Well, not just the bends, but I mean, if you're in a bell and say your seal breaks and you're like 3,000 feet deep, that water's going to come in like a piston in a fucking car, and it's just going to crush you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're just going to be squashed. I mean, so but if the water comes in gradually and you're able to like do something to get your suit on and pressurize the suit or whatever, you might survive. But I mean, you're still going to be fucked, you know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, time is a great saver of mankind. But I mean, if you've got time, if you've got enough time to get back into a pressurized area, you can survive. If you've only been in that unpressurized or super pressurized area for just a short time, the human body is very resilient. But I mean, you're going to be damaged, but you don't always die from these anomalies. You know what I mean? As I said, I think there was a accident that happened with an acid rock where he did survive being in a vacuum for, I think we were saying, for 30 seconds or so. It injured them, but it did kill them.
No, but that
was way less
that was low pressure, but it wasn't a vacuum.
Well, he had
I know what
a
you're
leak in his suit, and they had a secondary low pressure zone and the vacuum zone. So he started to pass out immediately. Then they could bring in a safety helper immediately, bringing him into the higher atmosphere. So I don't think it was nearly 30 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't long, and as I said, it wasn't really vacuum. It was low pressure, but it wasn't a vacuum.
Well, he had a leak in his suit, so it wasn't
right, yeah.
explosive. It wasn't explosive.
Yeah, it was gradual. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, if you stepped straight into a vacuum, it's not gonna be a nice death, and it won't last long.
Yeah, we got somebody experienced. Biggest Douglas had a leak in a wetsuit. Shout out to Biggest. I appreciate that comment.
That's one of the biggest things in the movie 2001: Space Odyssey. That's the thing that I hated most, was when they had him without his, Dave, you don't have your helmet, and he just blew himself into that chamber as if he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, he might have made it there, but he wouldn't have been conscious by the time he made it there. Somebody else was having to close the door. Yeah.
Yep. Right before he blows the hatch, he takes a big lungful of air and holds it tight.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be what you do. You want to expel everything out your lung and then jump. Yeah, I get you. My brother used to work in the army. He used to fire rockets, and some of the rockets he fired, shoulder-fired rockets, they had to expel from their lungs just before they fired, because it formed a vacuum all around when it sucked all the air out when it fired. So you had to breathe out just before you fired, and then hold your breath with your lungs, empty, because if you didn't, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's accurate.
Well, I'm just saying that's what my brother told me about when he was firing some of the rockets that he fired in the British Army back in the 70s. So.
I wonder though, how much of a pressure we could sustain if given enough time. How much of a high pressure we could survive if we give enough time to rise it. Like, it could be days or weeks, doesn't matter. I wonder what's the threshold.
I wonder what the threshold is for how long you survive without gravity, because, your bones just reach everything. So even if you could travel to another planet under zero gravity, by the time you got there, you couldn't land on the planet because your bones would be so brittle, and weak. You couldn't actually go down there.
It will last a lot longer. I think the pressure is more interesting question. It's more the trickier one.
Yeah, Snail's doing pretty good without bones.
We evolved to walk on the planet's surface. We're not evolved to go down to, the depths of the ocean or into space. That's why we haven't designed all this technology to help us,
That's right. There are life forms that have evolved to survive quite happily on the bottom of the seabed, several thousand meters down. But they've evolved to suit those conditions, and we've evolved to suit the conditions we find ourselves in, which is why our bodies are generally at 1 atmosphere of pressure, because that's where we live.
Yeah, and when we catch things at the bottom of the sea and pull them up, they explode. You know what I mean? It's quite horrible. You know what I mean?
I'm sure everybody's seen the classic photo of the blobfish, but it only looks like that because you've just brought it all the way up from the seabed. If you see it in its natural surroundings, it doesn't look anything like that. It doesn't look like a blobfish at all. Poor thing.
There are 2 people waiting for something. Myself and Jim's Mine, we're waiting for a pool on the moon. Or a swimming pool on the moon.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
I don't think we're getting back to the moon in the next 30 years. I just don't see it, you know.
Oh shit!
Well,
flip-flop.
they're hoping to launch Artemis 1 at the end of this month, aren't they?
But you
I
say
believe.
people. You say with people, right? There's.
Yeah, I'm talking about, you know, putting people at a colony on it.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see that in the next 30 years.
There you go. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yeah, I understand mankind can overcome things and that, but I'm just saying, you know, the world is going to fuck. Eventually, they're going to do what they did with NASA. You know what I mean? After the moon launches that, they're going to say, we need the money here. We're not going to fund it. And even if we send somebody up there in the next couple of years, it's going to be just like, you know, a couple of fucking people up there. You know what I mean?
The first
we're not going to form a colony. You know what I mean?
the first man mission to Mars is not going to be funded by government, or at least it'll be mostly by private enterprise. So it's possible. I think it could happen in 30 years, but it's certainly not going to happen within the next 20, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, so funding is really not going to be the main issue here. It depends on who's willing to invest and what they're actually going to get out of it. So, but I think they probably will, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you too, if you're banking on Elon Musk funding anything, forget it.
Oh, it doesn't matter who does it, but I just think that's what's going to happen.
Can you just imagine low gravity swimming in the big swimming pool in the moon? That's the next big thing. Shout out to Jim's mind.
I wouldn't want to swim in anything under 0 G. How the hell do you get from one side to the other when you're on 0 G?
When you're on the moon, you're not in 0 G.
It's 1/6 gravity. It's not with 0 G. Yeah.
I thought he was talking about just space. You know what I mean?
No, he's on
0 G.
about a swimming. But he wants a swimming pool on the moon. Oh, why not? But yeah.
But you mean you go in, you dive under the water, holding your breath. Maybe if you're one of these magical deep divers, you hold your breath for 5 minutes, you can probably swim there into a pool. But me, I can only hold my breath for like 38 seconds, 40 seconds. I'm going to fucking drown in that shit.
That's been shown in a relatively recent sci-fi film, hasn't it? And I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Well, hold on. Let me go finish that part.
No, go for it.
I just want to add Brian Mavitt. Brian Mavitt, that's a great idea. Can you imagine? That's the next big thing. A swimming pool on the moon with 1/6 of gravity. Can you just imagine like big sleepy slopes, like big slip, 100-foot high, and just dump water, and you just slowly diving into, and then when you splash, you do the bomb. You got all this water slow-mo shooting up, and then just kind of hanging in there. Can you imagine that big swimming pool on the moon?
Big swimming pool on the moon.
On the moon with 1/6 gravity. You picture that and tell me how much fun will that be?
I don't think it make any difference. Because we don't weigh anything in water anyway, do we?
I'm sorry, what?
What? Yeah.
Come again?
You don't weigh anything when you're in water, do you?
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Since when does weight change when you're in water?
Because the water supports your mass.
Really? Why do people drown?
Because they breathe it in. Human body will float.
That's called buoyancy, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you need for buoyancy? What's the key factor of buoyancy?
It doesn't matter what gravity is if the medium's supporting you.
You'll be able to jump out of the water like a dolphin if you put yourself in the moon.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
That's only when you come out of the water.
Yeah.
That you notice the difference.
Brian has a good point there. Actually,
training because it gives you the same effect of weightless.
Yeah, Brian has a good point there. If you were in a habitat and you had a tub on the moon, you would float in the water the same as you float in the water on Earth, which is not a lot because we're almost the same density as water. But he's right that we would float in the same way.
Yeah, but what about little g? Because gravity's not the same on the moon, is it? So it has to change somehow, doesn't it?
No, because the density of water on the moon is the density of water on the moon would be 1, and the density of the human body on the moon would be like 0.98. So we would have the same relative density.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know about that. I mean, what's your density and your floating ability in fresh water compared to salt water, compared to the Dead Sea that is very, very salty, where people can basically just sit up in the water. So what are you on about density of water in your body? Can you tell me what you're talking about?
Yeah, the density of the human body is about 0.98, and the density of fresh water is 1. So we don't float very well, and when you get into the Salton Sea or the Dead Sea, where the density of water is like 1.2, we float much better. But if you're in a freshwater tub on the moon in a habitat where you could actually be in a tub, you would float the same because the density of water would still be 1.
Wait.
And you'd still be 0.98.
Wait, no. The gravity on the moon is 1/6 of Earth, so wouldn't you float 1/6 as well?
No, you would float exactly the same because the water is still
and what makes you think that?
Hold on, let me answer.
The density of water on the moon would still be 1 relative to the human body, which would be 0.98. Blue, help me out.
No, you're right. You're exactly right.
Don't tell me I've been right twice tonight. I can't believe this.
I'm gonna have to have a lie. I'm gonna have to have a lie down.
Fuck it.
Guys, hold on. Hold on. There's Larry. There's Larry. Blue, what are your thoughts? You guys ask him a question about giving a minute so he can give his point of view, and then you guys can go.
Yeah, well, little g, the acceleration of gravity on the moon is 1/6 of what it is here on the Earth, but it's acting on the water as well as you, and nothing changes. The relationship between your density and the density of water remains constant.
Yeah, that makes sense to me now.
I understand what you're saying, boy, but I mean, if you dive into a pool of water in the moon, wouldn't it take you longer to rise to the surface than it would on Earth?
Because there would be a different rate of things floating to the surface. I'll give you that. But like I said, the weight of water on Earth is 8 pounds a gallon. The weight of water on the moon is whatever that is, 1.5 or almost 2 gallons or pounds per gallon. Well, that's the same for the human body. Yeah, if you weigh 160, 70 pounds on Earth, you weigh 50, 60 pounds on Earth. Yeah, it's the same, or on the moon. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Will I jump out like a dolphin? Will I jump out like a dolphin on a pool on the swimming pool on the moon?
Suppose if you had flippers on, you could flap your feet and dive out the water like a great white shark.
Say, guys, and hit the super chat, guys. Hit the super chat like Don't to Dust been telling you. Come on, guys. Boom. I think if I swim, if I do a power bomb, right, boom, and then just swimming really fast, going up, I will just jump out really high like a dolphin and then just go back down to the water.
I don't know, because would the less gravity cause the water to be less dense?
No.
No, definitely not.
Well, yeah, because like I said, it would still be relatively a density of 1, and its weight would be like whatever it said, like 2 pounds or 1.5 pounds. Yeah, so that is the newtons per cubic unit is in fact less. But then that's the same for you and the water.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got to go. I'm getting the evil eye. I've got to be up at 2:00.
Later, Brian.
Lads, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
If I could just clarify what I was saying, if you take like a ping pong ball and stick it in water, like we're saying, you did this the other night on your show. You showed, I think it was Chinese scientists. They stuck a ping pong ball. Obviously, they were in zero gravity. Going around the Earth, and the ping pong ball didn't rise to the surface, right? So do you think you're going to rise to the surface as quick on the moon as you do on Earth? I don't think so. I think it's going to obviously have that same retardation of, your ability to get to the surface. So you shouldn't be diving too deep in the water on the moon like you do on the Earth and think you're just going to rise to the surface so quick. And I think there could be a difference there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're correct. I believe you're correct in that if you take a ping pong ball on Earth and submerge it in a glass of water and let go, it'll come up fast. On the moon, it would come up slower. Okay.
Jose, if you want to do the dolphin jump, there is one condition. You have to have a very shallow pool. So you need to displace as little water as you can.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because you would basically just do exactly as the guys on the moon did. It's when they jump on the moon, they displace almost no matter. So if you displace just a little bit of water, just the amount you need, then yeah, the rest of your jump will be higher than if you were on Earth.
But that pool must be deep enough that I can dive from 100 meters high.
Yeah,
and then as I go down, and then as I go up, then I jump out like a dolphin.
I think this guy, though, he's got like one of those pump things on him, and he's using it to push forward. So he's using energy. He's using a force.
There's no debunking this. There's no debunking this. There's no true. Don't attempt to debunk this. There's no debunking of this gift. It's like the card that floated earlier. It's like the card that floated earlier because they put a few helium balloons inside it and it was floating away. There's no debunking of it. Oh man.
That's what's so funny, man. I love this one.
You float the same, but your rise time will change. Says
exactly. Yeah.
Real.
So if you go to the moon and go swimming and you dive down to the bottom of the swimming pool, you better hope you can hold your breath for 5 minutes.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap this one up. It is really hot in Florida. It's not too bad, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, about 35 Celsius. It is hot, but it's been 100 and 100 plus in the past few days, so I'm happy with 95 now. Should we do a round of final thoughts and get out of here for the day? I think that's fair. That's good. Let's get out of here. Big Blue, final thoughts.
Final thoughts? Yeah, we can think of the dumbest damn things to argue about. But sometimes I guess that's fun. Have a good day, Jose.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Chaik, final thoughts.
It was a fun show. I was expecting another Brian, but we got a Brian, so it's all good. Thank you.
Thank you. How about Discord user? Today's the day. All right. One day when Discord user open his mic and he speaks like Carl Sagan or something, and he's probably Carl Sagan just listening in his living room. We'll be all like, holy shit. Or Trump, like, people, you're fired, or something. Shout out to Discord user. Ed Freeze, final thoughts.
The earth is not flat. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You see how I call your name today? Every 100 times that I mention your name, one time I say it correct. Ed Freeze.
Yeah, that's okay.
Farmer's Boy, final thoughts.
I'm still feeling faint. I'm struggling to get over what's happened today. But yeah, thank you very much. It's been very entertaining.
Thank you very much. We don't have Gary Webenga, but we got a Gary Phobic. You got final thoughts? Let's go with J-Mac.
Brian might have been right once or twice today, but he's still a flat earther. Thanks, Jose.
Uh-oh. Thank you. Jacob1701, do you got some final thoughts for us? Let's go with Larry. Larry, final thoughts.
Oh, I missed most of the high points. I had to sit it out for other reasons. But Yeah, I kind of agree that a long-term habitat on the moon will be so difficult. They may actually get it pulled off, but it will suck all the air out of the room, because going to Mars will be 10 times or 100 times harder, and they'll learn that going to Mars manned is a suicide mission. Well,
boom. Thank you, Luis. Final thoughts.
Yeah, today was surprisingly enjoyable. I think that Brian was able to listen a little bit more than yesterday, if I had to do a comparison. And to Farmer's Boy's surprise, he got right on a totally unexpected subject. So, yeah, there's that.
Thank you. Matt, M2M, final thoughts.
Yeah, we had a different Brian today, but the same old Gary. What else can you say? That's it.
Thank you. And Ters, final thoughts.
Yeah, mankind isn't born stupid. Not all of us. And it takes a bit of effort to remain stupid. Flat earthers, what can you say? Slanjaba.
Thank you. Big shout out, guys. Big shout out for the super chat that we had earlier. Shout out again to Martin, Ters, and Anonymous for showing some love on PayPal over there. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. It was fun, entertaining. Hopefully, I hope I wasn't too much of an asshole today. I'm trying to be calm and collected and have a little bit of fun and treat everybody equally. So I hope I didn't step any boundaries and I didn't over moderated or under moderated. The way the show went is exactly like I wanted it. I moderated it when it needed to be, and I let it be a little bit of a shit show when it needed to be. So I hope I didn't get anybody too angry today, and it was at least an entertaining a few hours. Thank you, everybody in YouTube land, for watching. Make sure that you subscribe. The bell is on. Click on the like. Click on the description box. Leave a comment in the comment section at the end of the show. There's a super thanks for those who are watching the show recorded. Check and click on all the buttons. Join the Discord server, Daily Boom. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been Jose JG. I'm out. Boom.
Larry, I might